Hi everybody, welcome back. I'm Ashley and this is Martin Midlife Misadventures. Today is Flour It Up Day and we are making cherry walnut scones. Now if you don't like cherries and walnuts, that's okay. Because the great thing about scones, it's like a cookie. You can add any kind of toppings and extra things inside of it that you want, right? Chocolate chips, nuts, different dried fruits. I think you're getting the idea. This combination happens to be really, really delicious and it's what I had on hand. So that's why we're going to make these. And I'm telling you, they are delicious. I am using real butter for this recipe, and I know that's not something you're used to seeing from me. And that's because I reserve my butter for things that I know butter really makes a difference in. And scones happens to be one of those things for me. Okay, so we're using real butter and I'm excited. Now, all you creators out there, I have a challenge for Flour It Up. We're trying to show people not to be afraid to get in those kitchens, experiment, start baking all their bread products. We're controlling what's going in our food. It's healthier and it's cheaper. It's way cheaper than buying these things prepackaged at the store. So if you make a video, put hashtag Flour It Up in the title and tag us in it, and we will definitely add you to our playlist. Are you ready to make some cherry scones? Let's get started. All right, friends, for our scones, this is what we're going to need. 2½ cups of flour and 1/4 cup of sugar. Now, I like mine a little sweeter, so I'm going to use 1/2 cup of sugar, and I'm going to add an additional 2 tablespoons of flour to the mix, okay? We're going to use pantry milk because we're trying to keep this pantry items, right? You're going to need 3/4 a cup of milk. If you want them very delicious and decadent, use some heavy cream, okay? 3 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 egg. We are going to use real butter for this recipe, okay? 1/3 a cup. If you look at your stick, right here is where you will cut it, and then you're going to cube all this butter up into smaller pieces and get it back in the refrigerator. Do that first, okay? I did say 1 egg, 1 tablespoon of some good vanilla, and about 1/2 teaspoon of salt for the mix-ins. And this is what makes scones great. They're like cookies. You can put anything in them. Chocolate chips, any kind of nut, any kind of fruit. We're going to go with what we have, which is some dried cherries and some walnuts. Let me get everything measured up, and we are going to preheat our oven to 400 degrees. All right, friends, here we are. I have my 2½ cups of flour plus 2 tablespoons of flour because I am going to use 1/2 cup of sugar. I'm going to add that to that. On this dish over here, I have my 3 teaspoons of baking powder and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Get that in there. And now let's just get it really well incorporated, okay? Because the thing is with scones, it's kind of like when you're baking biscuits, how you just kind of get it all pulled together. We're not kneading a dough or anything like that. So you really want to make sure all that is very well incorporated. All right, we are incorporated there. And now we need to get our 1/3 a cup of butter. Dump that in there. Oh, I can't even get it out. It's so cold. You want it cold, guys. Icy, icy cold. Once you have your butter in your mixture, if you have a pastry cutter, you can cut in your butter with this. Or you could use a fork if you don't have it. I don't recommend using your hands because that's putting too much heat on this butter, okay? We want to keep it as cold as possible. Let me keep folding this in. All the butter is incorporated. If you look closely, you can see little tiny balls of it. That's all we're looking for. Try not to touch it too much. We're going to put our add-ins. I have about 1/4 cup of chopped walnuts and about 1/3 a cup of dried cherries. This is going to be fantastic. Let's mix that all up, get it well incorporated. And now we need our wet mixture. Now what I've done is I went ahead and I put the 3/4 a cup of milk, 1 egg, and 1 tablespoon of vanilla in this cup. And I took my fork and I whipped it up just like we're making scrambled eggs. And that is it. Now we're going to dump it into our mixture. Let's make a little well here. the color looks like that because of the vanilla. All right, let's get this all incorporated. Once you get it kind of well incorporated with your spatula here, I want you to see, I've just given it a few more turns and see how you can still see flour, but it's coming together. Just a couple more turns and then we'll put it out on our board. All right, our dough is just together, okay? It's just together and you can still see the butter in it, and that's what you want. Remember, we want to work fast with this because we don't want this butter getting melty. And if you feel like it's getting melty, put the scone dough back in the refrigerator and let it chill. So let's put some flour on our surface here. We're gonna get our big dough ball. Set it right here. Now I want you to shape it, pat it down, and bring the sides together. I'm just patting it down and making it into a round shape. And I'm about an inch thick on this, okay? We are going to make 8 large scones out of this. It's going to be fantastic. Now you can use a pastry cutter or you can just use a regular knife. And we are going to cut this into 8 pieces. Okay, now you see how my knife is sticking a little? We can just put a little flour on that and it'll help. But it's leading me to think we might need to stick these in the refrigerator for a minute just to get them more, that butter. Because I'm telling you, you want that butter to be nice and icy cold. All right, they're already looking good. We've got 8 pieces here. So we're going to take them and we're going to arrange them on our cookie sheet. Would you look at those, all arranged perfectly. Now see how I see there's a little cherry out? I'm going to tuck that back in there. And that's what they look like. Now just take a little bit of milk, heavy cream if you have it, and we're just going to brush the tops, just the tops, okay? Brush the tops, and then take a little bit of sugar, I mean a little, and just lightly dust the top of them with sugar. We'll do that to each one. They are all dusted with the milk, and then I sprinkled the sugar in. We're going to put these into our 400-degree oven, and we're going to start checking them at about the 10-minute mark. Would you look at those? See you in 10 minutes. They are ready. It's been about 13 minutes, but they certainly look fantastic. Oh my goodness, they really did puff up. I guess my baking powder is doing really well. Oh my goodness, let these cool and we'll take a taste. Do you see the sugar? I already took a bite. I couldn't help it, guys, but I'm going to take another one so you can see. Now I need a cup of coffee for real. So good. That little sugar on top gives it a little bit of crunch on top. The bottom, let me show you. It's nice and golden. It's more flaky like a biscuit and not hard to break your teeth like a biscotti would, right? It's just absolutely delicious. Solid recipe. You could make these and take them to any kind of luncheon, dinner party, whatever. Just fabulous. I really hope you all will give this recipe a try. And thank you all for letting me know when you try my recipes. When I say it makes my day, I mean it makes my day. I really am trying to give you solid recipes. And I promise you, if you follow the directions, and that's the thing with baking, okay? If you're trying out a new recipe or if you're new to baking, right? Always follow the recipe to a T because you're guaranteed, for the most part, to have success, right? Always follow it to a T. As you start doing this on the daily basis, like half the time I don't even have to measure stuff anymore. I'm not even kidding. I can bake an entire loaf of bread and I don't have to measure one thing out of it. But that just comes with time, okay? Time and practice. And you all can do this. I know you can. And creators, if you want to make a video and you're having a hard time coming up with something, make one of my recipes. Make one of them. Did you guys see Nene? Not only did she make my recipe, but she turned it into something different. She bakes enough to have recognized that that French bread dough was going to be perfect for cinnamon rolls. See what I'm saying? You just, with practice, you just know. So keep practicing. Do not give up and flour it up every day, guys, because we are controlling what goes into our bodies by controlling the ingredients in our food. I love you all. Please give us a thumbs up, and we are going to be talking to you really soon. God bless you.